Oh man, I love playing zombies. Hey, I know. I'll play Call of Duty on the Nintendo DS. That way I can play anywhere I want. Call of Duty on the DS. Playing this, you might as well be holding up a sign saying give me lethal injection. I understand the convenience of being able to play on the go, but honestly it would be more convenient to carry around a console, the game, a monitor, and a generator with you in public. Yeah, it's more stuff to carry, but at least you won't want to commit toaster bath. Well, before playing the game and showing you why this is, I want to talk about, I guess you can say, the background surrounding these games, like a job interview. And all of these games would be homeless and unemployed with the history that they have. Well, anyone who's a fan of the Call of Duty series will know that there's two big developers who have created most of the games, Infinity Ward and Treyarch. There's Sledgehammer Games and Raven Software, but they haven't made as many as these two. But for the Nintendo DS ports, none of them created the games. Instead, it was a completely different developer. Endspace. If you don't know who Endspace are, don't worry, I didn't either. But just to give you an idea, they're the same ones who created Mary Kate and Ashley, Magical Mystery Mail, and Hannah Montana the movie, the game. Yeah, they shut down. Well, with a track record like this, what can possibly go wrong, right? So to make this easier for myself, I downloaded the games on my phone and played them on an emulator because I'm not fucking buying 5 Call of Duty games. On the Nintendo DS no less. And I played 5 more missions in each game because I thought that was enough time to get an idea to how these games are. And I know people like to say Call of Duty is the same every year, but you clearly have not seen these. Anyway, we'll start where it all began for most people. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. No, not that one. There we go. Well, I just want you to forget about all the classic characters Modern Warfare introduced to us. Captain Price, Gaz, Soap. Instead, we got Captain Wojcik, Sergeant Hitchborn, Sergeant Ross. So this game is completely different than the version everyone else played. So if you're expecting to see those iconic moments, well, I got news for you. You start out in the training area learning how to use guns, grenades, and do these puzzles. One of them is easy. All you gotta do is move your finger across the wire and make sure it doesn't go outside or else you gotta start all over again. And the other is just kind of super tedious and random. In order to defuse a bomb, you need to connect the circuits together and make them all touch the blue points, which sounds easy, but it's just really clunky, and the pieces you expect to work just don't. And you'll be doing this quite a bit. This training area isn't as great as the other version of Modern Warfare where you got Captain Price making you feel like a piece of shit.
That was an improvement, but it's not hard to improve on garbage. Try it again.
Well, first off, the game is ugly. I know it's on the Nintendo DS, okay? I wasn't expecting some ultra 4K visuals, but this whole game is just brown. Could they have at least made it a little brighter? It's too dark. It's kind of depressing to look at actually, mainly because you'll see your reflection on the screen and come to the realization that your life has come to its lowest point because you're playing Call of Duty on the DS. And the enemies, well, not to be racist, but they all look the same. At least 3 different looking enemies would have been fine. It's like if the Clone Wars took place in the Middle East. But that's not the main problem. The main problem with the enemies is they are bullet sponges. Like seriously, there were times where they would just refuse to die. They make the Terminator look like a tin can. In terms of gameplay though, not much to say because there's not much to it. You take 5 steps, kill enemies, 5 steps, kill enemies. There's no time to breathe like an all gillied up. Most of the time it's just the exact same thing. Walking for 5 seconds and killing 5 enemies. And to add on top of this cake, the missions are very long. I'm not even exaggerating. One mission here is like the equivalent of 2 missions on the other version of Modern Warfare. There were moments where I would want the mission to be over so I could see a slightly different shade of brown. I mean, look at this one for example. You spend 10 to 15 minutes on this minigun mowing down hundreds of clones. After being done on the minigun, I thought the mission would be over, but no, it just keeps going. I played like 4 more missions after this one and just stopped after being stuck on this part for an hour. I had enough. Enemies shoot me once and I'm dead. They just appear out of nowhere and oh, you're on another minigun mowing down waves of clones and you need to have perfect aim because if you get shot once or twice, that's it, you're done. And remember, I said these clones are bullet sponges, so it's ridiculous. Oh, and did I mention they got RPGs? So I know I didn't really say anything positive about Modern Warfare on the DS, but I just didn't enjoy it. I felt like I was forcing myself to play through this. This isn't just a bad port. This is just a bad game. Call of Duty World at War is where it all began for me. It was the first FPS game I ever played, and it did a great job of portraying the horrors of World War II and paying homage to all the soldiers who fought and lost their lives in the most catastrophic war in human history. In a period with an oversaturation of World War II games, this was able to stand out in implementing all the features that made Modern Warfare great. I think it's one of the best World War II games out there, way better than Call of Duty World War II, which may look like some Michael Bay over-the-top nonsense. I will say this though, it is better than Modern Warfare on the DS, but that's like saying this piece of shit isn't as bad as the piss-covered piece of shit. Again, it's nothing like the good version. Reznov isn't even here, and it just feels like an epic adventure instead of a World War II game, which I guess had to be done. I can't imagine a Nintendo console with the Holocaust. Like last time you're training, trying out different guns, grenades, and overcoming obstacles. But anyway, we finally have better visuals. Before it was just poop brown, but here we got a blue sky, green environment, sunsets with an ocean view, which made me say, oh, that's nice. But remember where we had those puzzles? Yeah, we have more here, and they're worse. Okay, one of them is trying to defuse a mine, but there's just so many steps. Look at this. and you'll be doing this often. It takes too much time. Oh, and get this. Sometimes after you complete a mission, you need to tell HQ that you completed it in Morse code. What the tits? Can you imagine after every time you beat a level in any game, you have to type an essay about what you did to the developers? This is unnecessary, just let me go to the next level. The gameplay here isn't really any different. Every 5 seconds you'll turn a corner and enemies will just appear right in front of you. But they did try to spice things up. For instance, you're shooting down planes instead of those fucking PT boats blowing up little boats, and flying a plane blowing up enemies from above. I really do appreciate trying to add a variety of different ways to play. The problem is, they aren't really executed so well. Trying to destroy the planes is insanely difficult because of how fast they move, and actually aiming at them is tough because you're using your finger, so you can't really lock onto them. They also take a lot of hits to destroy, and they kill you in like 2 shots. By the way, playing on regular, just letting you know, when you're flying the plane, you move super slow. You want exciting gameplay? Check this out. Yeah, isn't that awesome? Again, I appreciate the effort, but it could have been done better. Hey, but you actually get to jump off the plane. That was actually kind of cool. So overall, I actually somewhat enjoyed myself playing through this. You play through multiple locations ranging from the Pacific Theater to fighting the Germans in Europe. Again, no racism here, but the Japanese and Germans all look the same. We got the Japanese Clone Wars.
Order 66を実行せよ。はい、閣下。
Oh, and fun fact, you actually do an animation when reloading here, unlike last time where nothing really happened. So yeah, not bad. If you wanted to play Call of Duty on the go, this is the best option. Or just play Call of Duty Mobile. But I feel like something's missing. Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it. What could possibly be missing from World at War? Yeah, zombies isn't here, which sucks. But don't worry. Oh.
We'll get there soon.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was a turning point in the series. Before, Call of Duty was very serious and tried to show war in this gritty and somewhat realistic way. When Infinity War started stoning that crystal and turned it into... Oh my fucking god! No, get the camera!
Shut the fuck up, faggot! Look at you, that's prestige! That's prestige, you fucking fag! Tell me what the fuck it is!
Oh my god. Man, Modern Warfare 2 lobbies really made me into a man. So even though this game wasn't as serious, it really was the most chaotic and fun Call of Duty. So how did it do on the Nintendo DS? Was it as fun as the one we all played? No! This somehow was the worst one out of all the games I played. It's like they put no effort here. And no, the story is completely different than the other version. You won't be playing no Russian on the way to Disney World, but you'll notice something almost instantly when you start playing. When you kill someone, they all make the same sound. This will drive you insane. You know what? If the military is interrogating someone and they're not getting any answers, just make them play this game. I guarantee after 5 minutes, they'll start talking. There's no training area here, which is good. You don't need it because the gameplay isn't any different than the other last two. But oh my god, guys, this game has the worst puzzle I've ever seen in any video game. So in order to hack into something, you need to figure out the 3-digit code. But how do you do that? Get this, right? You need to guess the combination of numbers and hope one of those numbers has the correct digit you need. But it doesn't tell you which one it is. A yellow light means you've guessed the right number, but it's not in the correct order. Once you get a green light, it is in the correct order, and you need to figure out the other two. This whole thing is just trial and error, and you need to hope you get lucky, and you do this a lot. You spend more time doing this than shooting enemies, and this makes you ask a philosophical question. Which is worse? On one hand, if you don't kill enemies, you don't need to hear them make those stupid noises, but if you don't kill enemies, then you need to do these stupid puzzles. It's a lose-lose situation. I've never played a Call of Duty game where I didn't want to shoot somebody. I will give some credit. The missions are a normal length. They aren't too long or too short. They're fun. You also go to quite a few different locations. You got the snow place, a jungle, well, not just desert. But I mean, not really anything to add. It plays exactly like the last two, but worse. Oh yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 1. It's probably my favorite Call of Duty. The campaign was like a philosophical thriller. They had moments where you were just like, what the fuck? Whereas in Black Ops 3, it was more like, What the fuck?
Train go boom.
It took place in awesome settings, introduced great characters, brought back some old ones, and the multiplayer, while not as fast paced as Modern Warfare 2, it was still addicting. And the zombies, man, oh my god, I just love this game. At this point, I can't expect the Nintendo DS version to be as great, but to be reasonable, is it bad? Not really, no. Unlike the last one we played, this one actually is okay. For one thing, there's no BS puzzles and enemies don't make that stupid noise whenever they die. There's actually a developed story here that kinda connects with the good version of Black Ops 1. It mentioned Alex Mason, and look, it says the thing.
Everything was going by the numbers.
Again, they tried changing things up by making sections where you can be sneaky, but enemies see you from like 1,000 miles away, so whatever. I mean, not really much to say here either. All these games play exactly the same. It feels like a rail shooter. You go down a very linear path, and you can't really choose different ways to approach a situation. But I have one major complaint despite it not being as bad as Modern Warfare 2. This game is insanely hard. You will die in like 2 or 3 hits, and the enemies never miss. They'll also grenade spam you. And I was playing on Recruit. I don't even want to know how this game plays on Veteran. I seriously tried to get past this part where you had to gain control of the beach, and I couldn't do it. I spent an hour here. I'm not even kidding. It was just non-stop enemies, and they would just shoot me once, and I had to take cover for like 10 seconds. It was just ridiculous. But before I was going to switch games, I noticed something. What's this? Zombies? Okay, now we're talking. Let's see if this is actually good. No, it's not. As far as first impressions go, it looked promising. The game has 4 maps, and the first one I played, House, very creative name, gave off some scary vibes, and it sure did spook me. But not for what you would think. First thing, right? You die in 1 hit. What? 1 hit? What? Did they even test this? There's no perks on any of the maps. I was lucky to get past round 4. And speaking of maps, these just suck. They only have 2 doors to open, but the crazy part is the price to open them. The first one is 5,000 points, the same price as Pack-a-Punch. So I mean, I couldn't just buy a gun off the wall because I wanted to buy the door as soon as possible. But that second door, man, I didn't even bother. 10,000 points. Why is the door that expensive? Is it because Narnia is on the other side of this fucking door? These maps were recreated on custom maps in Black Ops 3, so if you want to try them out, try them there. As for this version though, it would make the zombie from World at War run the other way. So Black Ops 1 on the DS, not horrible, not great, just mediocre. Yeah, Modern Warfare 3, look, I'll be honest, I played 4 Call of Duty games and at this point I was just tired of them, so I only played 4 missions, but it's exactly the same. Even the sounds the enemies make are the exact same. But this one was one of my favorites because it was the one I felt the least frustrated in, since Recruit actually played like Recruit. And this one seemed to do a lot of stealth, catching them off guard and waiting for them to pass, which is a nice change of pace from KILL 'EM ALL! There was one puzzle, but thankfully it was fast and simple. All you gotta do is tap all the icons that aren't black, and that's it. Not 15 stupid steps involved. There was this one mission where you had to direct your team where to go so they wouldn't get spotted. Then when they reach a building, it switches perspective so then you can be the one clearing the buildings. I actually kind of enjoyed this. It was kind of fun. So overall, Modern Warfare 3 on the DS, it's alright. Well, Call of Duty on the DS was a roller coaster of emotions. I only really liked 2 out of the 5 games. These games clearly were just Activision trying to get as much money as possible by squeezing these games to as many systems as they can. Because again, not only 3 of them were bad ports, they were just bad games. I mean, there's even Call of Duty games on the Nokia N-Gage. Like what? Well, I'm just glad that's over. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and like the video, and I'll make sure to try my best to post as quick as I can. Your support is what drives me to keep creating content, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all procrastinator.